Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I was talking to myself for the last couple of minutes because I hadn't gone live, but it looked like I was. Okay, so let me see who's here. We've got two people here, but we have 10 questions. What's going on? Okay, so quickly, let me know if you guys can hear me. And I know I was saying the same thing, but I wasn't live, so I was talking to myself. So, so let me just, while you guys are thinking to give me your answer, if you can hear me or not, I'll just go open that window. Okay, so did I get a response from you guys? Mo Salah says, yes, I can hear you clear. All right, at least there's one out of four. The rest are just sleeping. I just made myself a concoction of pure cranberry juice, no sugar, and Perrier water, sparkling water. Mm, sour but refreshing. You can add some honey to it if you like, but apparently it's pretty good for you. Lots of vitamin C and I don't know, cleansing effects and good stuff. So let's see who we have here. We have guiding words and says, Dear Meran, my ex who left me because of her mother is now back with her ex. I feel betrayed after she told me she wants someone better and older, but still going back to her ex. Any advice on how to deal with this? Yes, of course. I already watched your videos, but still I have this betrayal feelings. Well, this betrayal feelings that you say is because you think you should think of it as a betrayal rather than actually thinking of it as a blessing. Why would you ever want to find out about disloyalty of a woman to you further down the road? Why not right away? So, if you really think of it, you saved yourself so much emotional hardship, so much energy, so much investment in time and care and even finances and plans of your life by knowing this is who she is, how she would behave, when things going tough a little bit, when she sees some kind of a resistance from, I don't know, friends or mother or family or whatever else life might dish out. And suddenly, this is what she's going to do, because she's looking at after what is convenient for her in life, not what is a relationship is in need of, or what is good for the relationship. She's looking after herself, and that's pretty much what most human beings do. But knowing about this early on is a blessing, is not a betrayal. Betrayal comes to your mind because you have your ego taken over and having become more important than you. So you think what ego is saying, me, she betrayed me, she went to someone else. Instead of that interpretation, you interpret that when someone prefers another but you, then that someone does not have the requirements to be with someone as higher echelon as you are, meaning she deserves less. She deserves that, or whatever it is. It means she doesn't deserve you because she chose somebody else. That means that's her limitations, that's her expectation and standards of expectations. And that is not you. So why would you want to be with someone whose actual taste and standards and qualifications that are needed for her is someone else, lesser than you? Why don't you think of it this way? Why don't you understand that if a woman chooses someone else, that means she doesn't deserve you, not that she betrayed you? Because what makes her to be a trophy? On what basis? Is she giving it to you what she has? Her specialities, her expertise, her love, her emotion. Is she giving it to you? No. So what makes her so special that you call her betrayed you? Who didn't want to be with you? Not someone who was actually of high echelon, someone who would meet your needs, someone who served you and you trusted her and she trusted you for years. No, right off the bat, you can see what she's made out of. And these things that happen at the outset of a possible relationship are blessings, not a betrayal. So, on that note, go count your stars, celebrate. You're free to find someone who's going to be loyal to you. That's it. The rest is your ego talking. Don't give a chance to your ego. Your ego is part of you, not you. It's not more important than you. So, it's not important to listen and adhere to what ego wants. On the contrary, you just tell the ego, no, I make decisions. And my decision is she's not good for me. Why? Because she's not with me. She's not here. She's not having tea with me. She doesn't give me the chance to, I don't know, hold her hand or to bring her tea, or she bring me tea. However you want to call it, whatever your roles are in life. However, that's what you should think of it. Not that I lost something. I'm blessed with the fact that I don't have to spend my time and energy and emotions on someone that obviously is going to be flying the coop once the you know things get tough or challenging. That's the end of that. So we have a super chat that traditionally we're supposed to go to super chat. Carpe diem. My goodness, Adam. Again, with your generosity, you enter back into the channel. Adam has always been generous to the channel and certainly is appreciated. What do you think all these beverages and tea and coffee and all these microphones come from? These are all from super chats. All right. Okay. So let's go and see. Carpe Diem says, hello, my friend Meran, almost 44, Canada. Cheers. Oh, my goodness. You're just 44. My goodness. 44, so young. It was like yesterday. I don't know. In every age, one remembers some kind of a thing that reminds him or her that, oh, at that age, this is what happened. So all I can think is when I was 43, which is close to 44, I don't have any memory of 44. But when I was 43, I had this beautiful girlfriend. She was half British, half Ukrainian, gorgeous, and very attentive, very sweet. And I just remember how we met and one of the dates. 43 just reminds me of that. 20, I don't know, reminds me of when I first went to disco. I could drink. 17, I guess, reminds me of I won one of the championships under 18 in equestrian. 1975 reminds me of my major national championships, an international one event in equestrian. Every certain year has something that kind of signifies that year. 2020, it signifies the disaster prime minister that we have in Canada, fascism taking over, and betrayal of the Constitution and Charter of Rights and Bill of Rights, and uprooting Canadian people's lives by the government, which is the Liberal government at the time. So every year has something significant about it. But this particular thing that I just mentioned has been 2020, 2021, and goes on 2022. And I hope to God that the next political party, next election, people of Canada will defeat this government and vote them out, and we will have a new Canadian government. That is my hope. Because, in my opinion, this one does not represent the Constitution of Canada, Charter of Rights, or the Bill of Rights. And now that we have sent our political message out, we will continue with our regular programming. And that is Carpe Diem says, how do we overcome the realization of momentum mori? Hmm. Well, this you call it realization, but it's not a realization. It's part of the contract of life. Just as when we were born, from childhood, we understood that people die. When they get to a certain old age, we die. Because I remember when I was still young, early teenage, my grandpa died. My grandmother died first. Then my grandpa died when I was in college. So we got to learn that this is a fact. And you got this realization since childhood, not now. But you're hanging on to it now because you have experienced life and you love your life. But I know you probably are focused on not about your death. You want to see how you handle if a loved one dies. There is no magic formula. Sometimes in life, we got to go through something. Like when you have a very tough exam and you have a hard time understanding the lessons, the lectures, the book, the course, but you have to take that exam. Whether you're ready or not, comes a time you gotta put that pen to paper. Go to the session and take the exam. You have no choice. You have to go through it because that's part of the portals for you to continue on your journey on what you want to accomplish, right? The job you want to take, the career you want to have, the certificate you want. You got to take that exam. So, are you going to be ready for it? No, because there's an element of fear that what if I don't really do well? So, you're really never ready. You may do your best, but there's no real choice or the right time for it. But you realize that this is a fact, something you have to do. So, there are things in life that you have to go through and you will go through whether you're ready or not. And you will handle it because that's the only way to deal with it. You got to handle it. There's nothing else you can do. You know damn well that no matter how much you cry, the ones who are going to die will die. Or the ones who have died and passed, they won't come back. I still mourn my dad when I think of him, but I know the fact that I know I won't be seeing him the way I used to in this life kind of makes me feel I have to deal with it. I have to close that chapter of wishing to see him again here. So it becomes an involuntarily accepted fact. And when we accept something as fact, we'll deal with it one way or another. So it's not about realization of death, it's the fact that it's a fact. What do you want to do about it? You're not bigger than yourself. You are who you are, a human being on this earth. You're not a god to say, now I'm going to unleash this spell or this command and then undo it. You know you don't have that power. And you know that death is part of life. Instead, I look at it a little bit differently. I say, I have no choice. I have no saying in that. I can't control it. If I die, I die. Fuck it. I'm not going to ruin my life fearing about death. And then when I die, I'm dead. Why should I be dead while I'm alive and not dead yet? Why should I bring that fear and dealing with death when I'm still alive and not dead? So I'm dying two times. One while I'm living for the fear of it, and then when I'm dead. I don't want to feel dead. So why should I not let me deal with death when I die? Which means I won't notice it. But instead, I'm trying to take away my life and deal with death when death is not here. So I'm really killing myself. Because when I die, I won't notice it. But if I'm fearful of it while I'm alive, I'm killing myself while I'm alive. I'm ruining my life. And about the loved ones, who wants their loved ones to die? No one. But I had no choice. My dad passed. I'm powerless there. If I feel and believe there is a wisdom of anything in this world, that there is a creator, there must be. I can't have this heart beating with no perpetual effect of it, abilities of it. I can't have these trees have such organization and such design. The roots go bring the food and dissect it or separate it, analyze it, take the stuff that he wants, not take the ones that are not good for it, and then get green leaves and give fruits and flowers. And all that shit is beyond me. I see a girl, I like her, fall in love, get married or get together, have sex, the sperms, and then ovaries, and then dividing of the chromosomes, and then the heartbeat and the rest of it. How the fuck all these things happen? Beyond me. So if there is some kind of there must be organization, some kind of a intelligence, some kind of a creator, which is beyond me, but must be to make all this happen, then that son of a bitch, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, is responsible to figure out what the fuck is going to happen when we die or what the rest of it is. Not me. Neither was I responsible to be born, nor am I responsible to die. Because if I have the choice, I say, yeah, I want to be born, I don't want to die. But if there is an organization, there's an intelligence that have created all these things, and for some fucking reason have given me a certain kind of a time, type of a limited time to be living in this get up, then it's beyond my understanding. So I'm not going to try to understand what I can't understand. It's not offered to me, that understanding. But I do know if there is a creator, probably has some plans for afterwards as well, because it doesn't make sense. Energy, with my limited understanding as a human being, energy doesn't die. We've learned in physics that energy just changes to some other energy. Maybe the polarities of electricity creates heat on that resistant wire, and that heat gives warmth. So the electrical energy changed to heat energy, and the other types of energy changing. So energy changes to another energy, but can't be dead, can't disappear. So I believe that when I die, my body, the vessel that holds this energy that facilitates my livelihood, key energy, that's what makes my heart beat. That's what makes this whole thing go around. That is what makes me to function, not my vessel. My vessel is a tool for that, what my life is all about, to be mobile and negotiate life in a physical world. But that ability goes, but the other, which is my real life, that has been using this vessel to do things and accomplish things and build things and make things and learn things, that goes back to where it was, where it came from, in the shape it was before I was born. So I really don't think I will die. I know I won't be in this shape anymore. Mind you, I go to the gym a lot to get this shape. But you know what I mean. We won't be in this shape anymore, but I don't think we die. We can't die. We happen to be in a different form, I think, and now we have using this utility form to experience something. I believe we are the universe. We are tentacles of the universe. Through our life and our experiences, universe becomes wiser through our experiences. So we need to possibly maybe change to this shape to build things, learn things, expand things, discover things, invent things, through which universe's wisdom expands. I believe we are the universe. We are part of the universe. We are fragments of universe. We are tentacles of universe. We are what universe learns to become a better place. Now, sometimes universe is stupid and slow, like the shit that is going on in the world, but we still gotta do our best. So, one, something that is accepted since childhood, death is part of life, is maybe just entering a different stage of life, which we call it death, which is death of this sort of living. But it's not, I don't believe we die. Our consciousness joins back to the collective consciousness of the universe. And our consciousness carries through. What we are in the way of soul or energy carries through. That doesn't die. Our vessel dies. But I'm not the vessel. I am my experience. I am my accomplishments. I am my gift to the world and what I receive, what I give, my contributions. How can that die? When I do something, it never erases. And the effect that it leaves how I say something to someone or what I do and create or learn. And through that learning, other things get a chance to be born. And they don't die, they just advance. So how could I die, which was the roots and pioneer of this, whatever it is that continues? None of us die. That's what I think. So we have accepted that since childhood. We know that physical shape doesn't last forever. But dying, I don't believe we die. We die in this shape, yeah. And something that I don't have the power to understand further or do anything about it, why would I spend my time on it? It'll be a good pastime with a cup of tea, but once in a while. Otherwise, I got other things that I got to accomplish. I'm here for a different reason. And the reason is not to find the secret of the universe. It's to just go through that journey and see if I can help the universe to become a better place for all and the future all. All right. I hope that would be something to ponder on. All right. Now, let me come out of my cocoon that I entered with a bit of this. Wow, that wakes you up. That's for sure. Pure cranberry juice, no sugar, and sparkling water. Okay. Aman is here. 21 male India says, hey, Miran. Hello, Aman. Says, I feel like too vulnerable. Then don't be. I feel I'll easily cry. That's okay. If somebody betrays me, well, because you think your value is in the attention of others or in possessing others. Your value is in your connection to the universe, to nature, what you accomplish, what you learn, what you contribute. That's where your value is. It's independent of other people's attention to you. Yet you see yourself to feel empowered just only when you're affirmed by someone else's attention. That's bullshit. You already got the ultimate attention from the nature, from the universe, to be born. If you didn't have the attention out of that 300 million sperms that your mom and dad were, engaged to make an offspring, you wouldn't be the one who wins and is born. So to begin with, you got the ultimate attention. You don't need anybody else's attention to feel good about yourself. So stop crying that bullshit and stop thinking that you're inferior or you need other people's affirmation to feel good about yourself. You are here because the Almighty, the actually what creates us, has approved of you to be here, help you to win over 300 million other possibilities. What else do you want? You're a winner to begin with, lucky of them all. So stop this bullshit that you need some other jackass who had the same chance and was blessed to be born to give you blessing to feel blessed. What the hell? You already got the highest blessing that there could be. So, in short, shut up and enjoy your life. Says I'm so scared of talking and presenting my stuff to teachers. I feel like they'll think I'm show off and etc. in front of the class. Well, if you think this is got no purpose for the class and it is a show off, you can be the judge of that. Then don't do it. But if you think you're actually saying it because you have a question or you have a point that you have found out and you want to share it, that's fine. But if you're asking stupid questions, as they say, no question is stupid. But if you're asking questions that you already know, you're asking it to kind of show off or present that you're smart. Don't do that shit. Correct it within you. You don't have to be scared of presenting what you want to say to the teachers. Who the hell do you think they are? Another human being. They were a kid like you. They used to sit where you sit. They weren't born out of their mother's womb the way they are right now. What, 30, 40-year old and teaching a class? That's how they came out? No, they came out like a thingy bingy like you. And now and they used to sit in the class where you sat and scared of their teachers themselves. And they little by little grew and learned. But you now want to know everything that you're supposed to know all throughout your life now. That's unreasonable expectations. So be patient. Don't think of them as gods. They're human beings. They make mistakes. There are things that you can find out they don't know. Just because they're a teacher, you think they know everything. They don't know shit. They only know what they teach. The rest of their life, they're fuckheads. Most of them. Just like any other people. Just because somebody is a, I don't know, vice president of the bank or some kind of a corporation doesn't make him a good human being or actually a wise person or very educated in everything. No, and that shit that he's doing is good. That's all. Even so, if it is. So teachers are just limited to what they teach. And they're older than you and they have some experiences here and there. And they could be helpful if they are good, decent people. But that doesn't mean they're gods or you're going to be scared of them. No, you interact with them, you challenge them, and you search and research before you challenge them. And then if you think it's worth it, it's a new novel concept, then share with them. If not, don't have to show off to class because you're constantly trying to get approval and affirmation in the judgment of other kids' heads that, oh, he's such a smart boy. Stop trying to be smart. Fuck it. Live your life. Do your best. That's all. Stop impressing other people. Other people are trying to impress other people. Don't fall for that shit. You're just as good as anybody else ever been. Maybe they accomplished more, some of them in the history. Okay, fine. But you're still just as important as every other human being. And if not more. Why? Because it's you. For you, you're the most important person in life. That's what you should remember. Don't try to impress others by who you are. Impress yourself. That's all. Be a good, decent human being, and that's all you need to be. The rest of it is bullcrap. Translation bullshit. Mm, it's addictive. It's pretty good. Okay. E. Listen, guys, what happened to the age, gender, and where you're tuning in from? As I mentioned, I gotta have that. I don't know who you are. I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you should be here. I don't know if you're a man, woman, what your gender is. I gotta know these things to be able to address your question or address you properly or whatever. So, E, come back to me when you have let me know how old you are, what your gender is, where you're tuning in from, and I'll get to your question. So I guess we go to the next person because I don't hear from him yet. Ayushman says I felt betrayed because I always gave place to negotiate an option to leave, but she also insisted to stay. This continued to saying she wants to be with me. Now at the end acted very cool and rude. So it's okay, whatever. I mean, your life is not dependent on this girl or that girl to want to stay with you or love you or say hello to you, smile at you or not. Fuck it. If they want to love you, they got to have a reason for it and they got to justify it for themselves. If they don't want to do it, well, it's no skin off of your nose. You will go on, accomplish your plans in life, experience your life, find other people, give your love to them, your attention to them, and you will get what you deserve. And if they're good enough, they give you good stuff. If not, you move on. What is it that you guys think? If a girl stops loving you, your whole life is ended. What the fuck is wrong with you? You are in love with your desire for pleasure. Otherwise, that girl that stops loving you or paying attention to you or chooses somebody else wasn't going to make your life any different than you could make your life to be. She was not going to be there for you. She was coming in to make herself happy. So it's not like if she leaves, you lose your happiness. No, you lose a toy that you liked and you would get pleasure with. And soon you would replace it with another toy, another entity, another attention, another love, another emotion. Because if you're kind, if you're loving, and you express that to another nice woman, she will reciprocate just as this could have. But it didn't. So next one will. And if that didn't, another one. You don't change yourself. You still be nice, gentleman, kind, loving, caring. Accomplish yourself. Compassionate. And there will be decent women who actually looking for that and stay loyal to you. But you tend to think just because this desire did not end to give you the pleasure you were seeking, that means the whole concept of desire has left you. No, desire for all other things and all other women and all this is still there. You have the desire. Desire doesn't leave you. That's yours. That's coming from you. And as long as you have that desire for pleasure, well, you will just find other things that will give you pleasure. She didn't want to. Kudos for her. That's her prerogative. Give her that free world, and she can go and find what she's looking for or what tickles her fancy. And you go on and understand that this that went on to find what tickles her fancy was not tickling your fancy, couldn't have tickled your fancy, because how could someone who's looking for something else to tickle her fancy could be the one that would tickle your fancy? You don't want someone who wishes somebody else to be for you. You don't want that person. You want someone who wants to be for you. That's the person you want. And if that woman chooses somebody else, that's her limitation. She's not at par with you. You let her go and have confidence in yourself. Go for a different one. There's no shortage of amazing, beautiful, kind, well mannered, well attitude women, cultured women. You just got to find them. Sometimes hard to find them, that's all. Orlando Osuna says, hello, Meran. Orlando Osuna 45 Albuquerque. Thank you for that. This is how I like, the introduction, that I know exactly. I remind myself. That's the age. That's where they come. That's the cultural background. That's and that so forth. And the gender. So Orlando Osuna 45 Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have been broken up with my ex for about a month now. I met a couple of new girls, and hanging out with them made me feel confident. Then those girls starting being flaky, so I stopped chasing them. Good. Right now, my breakup seems to be more on my mind, and recurring thoughts of images of her, of good moments, come to my mind. Fine. But remember, you said good moments come to my mind. Yeah, moments comes to your mind. Memory is the past. So that is how she was, and your interaction was with her in the past. But her past does not represent her present. Meaning, if you really want to know if she still deserves your attention, you got to see if her actuality in the present moment is a representation and is actually mimicking or echoing and shows stability as how she used to be and treating you in the past. But it's not. The past is now a memory, but her present and actuality, the way she treats you, is not the same as before. So why would you still want her? If you wanted a girl who would treat you and negotiate with you, interact with you the way she did in the past, that's the kind of girl you wanted. And this girl, the way she treats you now in actuality, in present time, is not the way she used to treat you there. But that's the kind of a girl you wanted, the way she was in the past. Why would you still want this girl at the present moment in her actuality in the present way? She's not what you used to like, what you liked, what you were attracted to. She's not the same as those good memories that you remember. So treat those as memory, enjoy them, but also be aware and update the file that she today that you kind of crave for her is not the person who created those memories. And you like a person who created those memories, but she's not. Therefore, you won't want her. You don't like her because you like the other one. But this one, as it is today, consciousness has changed, she has changed. If you would have met her, this person, today, the way she treats you, the way she is and represents herself in actuality today, if you have met her the way she is now, then, which you like the kind of girl that she used to be, if you had met her then, would you be attracted to her? No, because that's not what you're looking for. So why is it that after she's been sweet and the kind of girl you were looking for, but now she's changed, to not that girl anymore, to somebody else, which you actually don't want, because if you meet someone like that today that you don't know, you don't have a background with, you just meet tomorrow, but it's the way she treats you, the way this one treats you today, the one that you meet tomorrow will be the same as the way this one treats you today. You wouldn't want to have anything to do with her. So why would you want to have anything to do with this one? Because you don't see her as she is in her actuality. You see her with the eye of the past. Because she looks the same physically, you think her manners and attitude, the way she treats you, is still in the past. It's not. That's a change. That's dead. Past is dead. That character she had is dead. She's no longer that person. She's this person. That's what you should judge for. And when you judge for that, you say, I don't want this kind of person. Just because she looks like that other person in the past, that doesn't mean she is. Her consciousness, manners, and the way she treats is the way that defines her. So you need to focus on that. So when you see her in the real light, in the actual light, in her actuality, you disqualify her. When you disqualify her, so you have no problem moving on. You know, those memories were good. I had lots of girlfriends. I don't know, last count, I don't know, 98 encounters. I guess 50 of them were girlfriends, long or short term. Many of them have all of them have great memories with. So when I think of them, it's beautiful. But I don't bring them here. That was something to enjoy by remembering, a good memory. That's all. And what you crave is not you crave them the way they are today. You crave that how and who they were when you created those memories with them. But you know that's the past. They're no longer like that. So be realistic. When you think of the memories, enjoy it, but understand that was in the past. They are not what the memory represents anymore. Therefore, don't have craving for them. Don't be under the illusion that just because you remembered good memory from them, they are actually the same way today. And that person who's still the same way as it was when you guys made the memory with you has left you. No, the person who left you is not the person that you made those memories with. She changed and then she left, meaning she was no longer qualified to be with you because she had already changed. So the girl that you think you want to have back is not the girl that you had. So you should never want to have her anymore. Just enjoy the memory. That's all. Be aware of it. Don't fall into the fact that, oh, what I remember is who she is today. That's why I still want her. She's not. So don't want her. She's a stranger. She's someone in the street who treats you and behaves with you the way that doesn't interest you and doesn't attract you. But just because she looks like the person that you used to be, you think, oh, you should be attracted still. She's the same. There's still chance for her to be. No, she is not. She's not that same person. So move on. Don't be fooled. Okay. And he says, I have been avoiding places where we used to hang out in order to avoid running into her. What do you think happens if you run into her? It's your desire that is making you feel, oh. Why? Because we look at women as food. And food was scarce a million years ago. So every time we had to get up in the morning, go for hunting to make food, to get food. bring it for our loved ones, ourselves, whatever, feed ourselves, our families if we had one. So every time that we were trying to throw that spear, let's say there was tools there, you were trying to make sure, and you were fearful of missing. We're trying to make sure you don't miss. And if you did throw, or somehow whatever trap you had, the game escaped that, and you missed the chance to hunt it, you would be really frustrated and have anxieties, because a chance for food, to survival. Food was survival. A chance for survival left me. I lost the chance. And similarly, we think about desire for women as important as food was, a hunt. So when you have a woman, when you have your food, and another something somehow it spoils, or the wind or the water hits it, or some animal takes it, or it just somehow still wasn't killed and walks away and leaves, so you feel, oh my God, something terrible has happened, because that was my survival. Now we think of women the same: pleasure, desire, sexual interaction, intimacy. This is as important as food is for us, for our survival, kind of. So when you miss a chance, you had that woman you were with, and somehow she decides to leave or break off, it's like you've lost the food, the chance to hunt. And you become anxious, you feel, I'm losing a chance. That's why you're scared of seeing her, because you see, oh, that's a prey, that's the food. I should, but I can't have her. So naturally, it's a downer, and therefore you avoid seeing her. But if you think, look, it's no longer a million years ago. The hunt, you don't need to actually worry about it. You go to a supermarket and buy the food. So you're not really scared, as you can see, when you pass by a store and you see chicken or beef there, but you say, I'll buy later. No problems. It's not like the old times. Oh, this food, I gotta get it now, otherwise it won't be there anymore. Escapes. Now the same thing. Finding a woman is not that difficult anymore, but we're lazy because we've made some connections with one that we were with and we were used to, and it was easy. We get intimacy, we interact. As difficult as the relationship may have been, but you endure it because of the intimacy part, because that's the part that you really, really wanted. That's the whole purpose of being with a woman, ultimately. So when now you see the woman that you used to be with, you think, oh, the chance is going because I can't have her. Well, so what? There's so many others. You introduce yourself, the times are different. Things are not as difficult as it was in 1300. You get to know other women. Just be patient. So you don't have to panic that I can't have this one. You say, I can't have this one that just passed me by. It used to be my girlfriend. But the reason is all those things that happen. That's why I don't want to have her. Or that's why I can't have her. Because I don't want someone who doesn't want me. Therefore, I'm not really frightened or falling into anxiety because I just saw her. Because I quickly establish and reason with it that I don't want her. I don't want somebody that I had to go through all that stuff with. And we broke up. So, yeah. But what you miss is that shortcut of you see her intimacy, you see her sex, you see her mine. It was mine. Because we still think of women very protective of her. And so we don't want anybody else to touch her. That's the kind of a caveman mentality that we still bring with ourselves. So these are all for you need to be understood rather than feared of that, oh, I'm losing a chance. Oh, she's going. My survival is in danger. No, there are other ones, like supermarkets. Okay, I hope that was helpful to you. So you won't be so scared of seeing your ex-girlfriend, running into her, because it's no big deal. You got to change the interpretation of what that means to your brain, rewire it to understand that it's not a critical moment, that not being able to have that girlfriend that you just ran into. It's okay. You don't want her, but it's a natural feeling to see, because we still look at them as a prey, as food, as sustenance, as survival, important for survival. What's the word? Uh, um, Something necessary. I don't remember the word. Okay. All right. Ayushman, stop finding whys. It doesn't matter to know why a woman leaves you. All it matters to be a strong man and a gentleman is to respect her decision. It doesn't matter why. To accept and respect the decision is important, not why she did it. Whatever the reason is, you don't want a woman who actually, for whatever reason, has decided doesn't want to be with you. You don't want that woman. You should have that principle. Therefore, you don't care. When a woman comes to you and says, I think it's not working, I want to, break up with you or whatever. You say, sure, no problems. Have a nice day. I wish you well. Thank you for the opportunity. It was interesting experience, or I enjoyed. I appreciate that. That's it. What else do you want to say? Free world. They have the right to choose, and you have the right to choose when you see you're not chosen. You choose somebody else. The world doesn't come to an end. We weren't born just to meet this girl or that girl. And if they don't pay attention to us, oh, we're devastated. No. The world is there for us to experience. And if it doesn't work out, we continue on, build another. What do you do when your house burns down? Build another. Huh? What did the Hanjin-san did in the Shogun movie when they burned his ship? He had to build another. And if they burned that, build another. And if they burn that, build another. That's what life is all about. We still have to travel in this ocean of life. And I don't care what happens, we have no choice. We got to build another. So, a woman doesn't want you, that's not the end of the world. Far from it. It's just one of the fragment experiences of the world is a relationship, not the whole entirety of the life experience. So don't mix that up. That, oh my goodness, that was my whole life was all about her. No, that's pleasure. That was desire for pleasure. And then depending on the quality of it, you will build something important out of it, or it will break down and you move on, you both learn something, that's the end of it. But it's not the whole entirety of the life. If you understand this, you'll be fine with all these running into your old girlfriend or whatever, or somebody leaves you, and don't make God out of them. They're another human being. They have their own needs. And allow them to make those choices for themselves, and you make your own choices. All right. And and guys, please do remember, when you guys write me an email, do you really expect me to be able to do all that? Like, I put live stream for everybody, so everybody can choose to come in, participate, and ask your questions. If there's time, I try to answer them. And I make videos. There's 3,000 videos and more on this channel on OCD, subsets of OCD, and relationship breakups, and all these movement of the psyches and thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, and all that. And yet you still, and most of the comments for the past 12 years, if not all of them, I've answered. But if you keep wanting consultation by the comments, it won't work. Because you know how much time it takes for me to deliver it to ask you and get back to you and then deliver the whole chapter of the topic and help you out. Well, that's why I have the live stream. That's why I have the videos. For anything more, you guys can go on my site, mind.seekstruth.com, mind.seekstruth.com. Make an appointment for a Skype consultation, Skype chat, and we'll explore what's concerning you one on one on Skype. That's how it works. Otherwise, I'll be sitting here typing away for every comment that comes, and every one of you claim that this is urgent. Please answer me this. Nothing is urgent. You won't die. You have an emergency, you go to your doctor to go to hospital. I'm not a doctor, right? So understand this, that I'm doing whatever I can, and be gracious and be kind, and don't expect me to respond to your emails, although I have, but I can't do that because it takes so much time of what I can talk in here or what I can help you with. When it's appropriately, an appointment is made and I can attend to you with a full focus and attending to what the topic of the conversation is. And here is the this is the site address for the ones who need to have a consultation with me, and you can make a choose any date or time, and then on Skype we will hash it out and fine tune the time and date of the application or the appointment. All right, so we have Stuart says, hello, Stuart, male 34, Cyprus. Thank you for that. It says, how to relabel an intrusive thought who comes from chemical imbalance in caudate. I don't know if chemical imbalance is it's encoded. That's not encoded. Just chemical balance is chemical imbalance that your psychologists through the blood test can tell you and figure out what chemical, what salt is missing, and they would then give you prescription. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I don't have any medical degrees, so I cannot make comment on that. But what I do know is that that is something you can ask your doctor about. If the chemical concoction they give you or the medicine that they give you to replenish that missing parts imbalance is should be more or less or is the right one, and that's a conversation to have with them. But if you're talking about intrusive thoughts and how to relabel it, to begin with, you got to understand and become aware of the separation between brain and you. As long as you think the brain is you, you have no way out, because that's total bullshit and nonsense. Brain is an organ, like your liver, kidney, your intestine. It has a job to do, and its job is to make thoughts. It's not intelligent. It's not your intellect center. According to all the experiments, laboratory experiments, and thousands of neurosurgeries that was done by Dr. Penfield, Dr. Sperry, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet, all these Nobel Prize echelon type of studies have proven by modern science beyond the shadow of the doubt that you're not the brain is not you. There are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot even reach. So if you understand this, that the brain is a machine, is not you, therefore whatever it says, that doesn't necessarily have any credibility. It conjures up things. You have the credibility. You are the boss. You are the judge. You are the awareness. That awareness is you, which leads your life based on your choices and vetoes, not what conjured up and spits out by the brain and suggested in the form of thoughts or ideas or images. You're not supposed to be falling for that. Therefore, you don't even need to relabel, and you just need to remember that what brain is putting out is an organ putting out, like you fart out of your intestine. You're not going to analyze it. Oh, how am I going to relabel this fart? No, just focus that this is a fart. No need to relabel. It's a fart. Useless. It's like a exhaust of every engine when it works. Is got an exhaust. There's a refuse out of what is designed to produce. There's a refuse. And fart is one of those refuses for the intestine. It's trying to turn food into energy, and through that process, fermentation and all that, and there's a gas there. That's exhaust. Got to get rid of it. And then there is refuse. You go to the bathroom and do your business. That's the things that were not useful. You get rid of them. A brain is also constantly trying to make thoughts. That's his job. 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. But through doing all these work, there is an exhaust. Intrusive thoughts show up as a byproduct of all these activities. And then there's a refuse. Again, other kind of intrusive thoughts that you got to somehow have a mechanism to throw that out, to discard that. And discarding the things in the brain is not the same as the intestine. There's nothing physical coming out of it. You just have to simply understand that these are the refuse, exhaust, and I don't need to be concerned about it. They're irrelevant to me. That's the way you diffuse it, get rid of them out of your system. Not to pay attention, oh, what is it now? Why that sound came out? Is that what you do when you fart? Why did that sound come? Where did it come from? I have to look into it. What did I eat? Why does it smell like? You don't do any of that shit. You just recognize, it was a fart. And then you go to the bathroom, and as awful that it might be, you don't analyze the damn thing. You understand that's what it is. The brain also creates all these kind of exhaust and things that are useless, irrelevant to you. So you gauge them against your values. Dr. Schwartz calls it wise advocate. That's where your sacred values, standards, principles are, core values. Dr. Phillipson calls it gatekeeper. These are the things that are valuable to you, meaningful to you. I call it superconsciousness. Those are the things that defines you, your values, your principles, what you go about, how you lead yourself, what you gauge outside influences against it. And you see if they're in line with your values, that you've kept it in your superconsciousness, in your wise advocate, in your gatekeeper, whatever you want to call it, or not. If they're in line, you accept them, you use them, you let them be used. If they're not in line with the values that you have set as per your choices and vetoes and your principles and belief in your life, if they're not in line with it, you just simply put them in that category that they're not in line with my values. They can fall by the wayside. I don't need to worry about them. I don't need to interpret them. There is irrelevancy to them. I'm not going to waste my time and worry about what those people said when I was passing by. They're outside of me. They're other entities. I'm not responsible to what they do, what they say, what they eat, what they lifestyle they have. So what they say is irrelevant to me. I go to a bazaar, I see 1,000 shops, hundreds of shops. I'm not concerned about what each shop has and they're offering for sale. I'm not interested. I pass by the shops that I'm not interested until I find the store that has and offers what I'm looking for to buy. So these are my judgments. I don't have to think everything out there is relevant to me. I don't have to think every thought that shows up here, every image, every suggestion from this brain is relevant to me. They're not. I gauge them against my wise advocate, my gatekeeper, my superconsciousness, my core principles that I have bestowed. I've stored them in these names, in these vaults that I just talked about, and I hold them sacred. If they don't measure up, I don't have any problem with them. I just pay no attention. Understand your brain is not your intellect center. Dr. Penfield had thousands of surgeries and neurosurgeries on the brain. And as you know, when they use anesthesia and cut into the skull, when they're actually doing the operation on the brain itself, there are no nerves there. You can't feel pain. So many times the patients were awake where the surgeons were working, so they were probing to learn more about the brain in 1940s and 60s and so on. So they were able to stimulate maybe a point in occipital part of the brain, the back of the brain, and they could see some lights, or the eyes would be stimulated, or they could stimulate another part of the brain and the limbs would move some movement. So they could establish there is a motoring segment or part that could be localized. They could localize the eyesight. They could localize the center for mobility. They could localize speech center by stimulating part of the brain, and the patient would say something or make a noise. That would mean there's a localization of that speech center possible in the brain. But they could never localize compassion center. They would never localize mathematics center. They could never localize political center. They could never localize consciousness center. They could never localize intellect center. Brain is not your intellect. Brain is a tool that you use to accomplish something, learn something, produce something, design something. But it's not you. It's an apparatus. It's a machine that it breaks down, malfunctions, and it needs to be rewired, reprogrammed, helped to come back to health. Just like any other part of our knee, our kidney, our liver, everything else. So, having said that, that's what you do. Recognition that you're not the brain and brain is not you is going to set you free. And then for relabel, you can read the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz that is mentioned in his studies. He spent 30 years of his life reading on OCD and OCD subsets and the cause of it. And Dr. Philipson spent his life helping people with OCD and OCD subsets. Dr. Jan Weiner and many other specialists in the world. And I think the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz can help you in clear that relabeling for you beyond what I just shared with you. All right. Chester Sid is here from Hawaii, my adopted hometown. And Chester says, male 29, Hawaii. Aloha, Meran. Aloha, Chester. Says, long time no see. Yes, I know. You've been busy. Says, been busy with work and recently started working. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Just trying to improvement myself every single day. Excellent. How have you been? Well, I've been around and doing my things and exercising. And recently I found this pathway from forest in one part of town to a dam called Cleveland Dam, which is a very nice, relaxing 1 hour walk, half an hour for me just to go there and half an hour come back. But if you want to take time and slow down, it'll be a couple of hours of good hike. It's beautiful, it's clean, it's fresh. The sun doesn't shine on you because of so much trees. It's amazing trip. And I've made actually a video, I uploaded it for that journey. So you guys can enjoy if you want to relax and just think of nothing, have a tea and just see the pathway I took. And then at the end, you see the Cleveland Dam and the scenery there. It's beautiful. And so I do that almost every day, if not every other day. And then I do my fitness training at the gym. And since last time we talked, I think I had to take care of my weight a little bit to make sure my blood pressure is more in control. So I think I've lost about 12, 13 pounds. And I feel good, stronger, and doing what I'm doing, dealing with the corruption of the world, with all these governments trying to shove things in our in our heads and control us. So I'm delighted to hear all these good things about you. I'm proud of you. Good for you. And we have okay. I'm sorry, Ayushman. It's too much of um, discussion here. I can't. I got to go on with other questions. If you need to talk to me, go make an appointment at my site, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it further with you. But there's so much more that you have said here. Unfortunately, I can't go through. I'm sure you understand. Um, Carpe Diem says, thank you for your great teachings, means a lot. You're quite welcome, Adam. Appreciate you being here, joining us. Zach Stro 99 says, hey, Mehran, with the heart. You haven't been around for a long time, have you, my friend? Good of you to join us, and thank you for that. And thank you for the heart and the heart back. And Mo Salah. Mo Salah is, let's see, is 35. Mo is 35 and Egyptian, tuning from Saudi Arabia. Oh my goodness. It must be what? 1 o'clock in the morning there. No, 1:30 in the morning. So Mo Salah says, Dear Mehran, what if a girl I like suddenly stopped talk to me without any reason? She was with me every day, video cam, calling during a month. I didn't do anything bad to her, and I didn't call her after she see the last message from me and didn't reply. What I do if she tries to contact me again? You respond. Sometimes girls do things out of fear, out of frustration that they can't get this going any further, or out of they found somebody else that is local and it's available. And sometimes girls don't want the same thing that you want. And we men are usually very responsible and protective and romantic. Girls, despite the fact that they claim they want their man to be romantic, they're not that romantic themselves. They're more functional. They're looking for something that would give them entertainment, because mostly they have this in their head. The entertainment is what they're looking for, to feel good about themselves through pleasure, not the way it used to be, through some kind of a relationship, building on it, um, doing their best to keep the relationship going and see where it goes. All of that is changed. So sometimes they do things that they really don't know why they're doing it. And later on, they may regret, they may not. But often it's because they found somebody else nearby. And whether that person is as good as you are or not, that's beside the point. They're practical. They want somebody nearby, so they could physically see any kind of improvement or advancement in getting what they desire or what they hope for. So don't blame yourself. It's nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that they maybe wake up, say, well, this is not going anywhere right now for a while. I don't have the patience to wait for it. And it's their own reasons. So don't try to take responsibility for the decisions that others make. They make their decisions according to what suits them and what their brain allows them to intellectually justify or analyze. But you're not responsible to what their angle is. You just do what you got to do. They're not available to you. You treat it as such. Instead, we try to say, what did I do that they did that? Why do you have to have done anything for them to do what they do? What about saying, well, that's crazy. I don't want to be with someone who's not reasonable or kind of weird behavior rather than a building or um, discovering or discussion before a decision. Most women make their decision before they talk to you, and they consider that discussion. But that's not a discussion. Discussion is before a conclusion have been made, before a remedy or before a decision has been made, a judgment has been made for a action. But they think as long as they talk to you, that means they've communicated with you. But that's neither here nor there. So don't feel responsible for what she has done. She has to live with her. Look, you think you've lost her? Why do you think you've lost her? Because you're a man and you want intimacy, you love women and you want women. But that doesn't mean you should want any woman. A woman should meet your expectations and standards. If she's not loyal, if she is not reliable, if she's not ready to endure, be patient, build something, to cooperate, to back you up, you back her up, together make something, it'll never be made. And that's her prerogative. Don't blame her, but don't feel you've done anything or don't feel sorry that she's left your life. No, such unreliable situations is better not to be part of it than sitting there and hoping that she would make decisions that would be in line with what you're hoping for. If she did, great. If she didn't, well, you got to do something based on what she has or hasn't done, not to blame yourself. What did I do that she came up to this conclusion? Nothing. Nothing. Just as you say, day before she was lovey-dovey with you. So these are the glitches that you're not responsible for. Anybody is responsible how they rewire or train themselves in their mentality and thinking and logics, and you can't interfere with that. Let them be, but if they're not meeting your standards or in line with your values, then you have the prerogative and the responsibility to move on. Move on your vehicle. Go away and go somewhere that you will find receptors and people who are very receptive and ready to reciprocate to your attention and your commitment and your plans and compatibility and so on. All right. Miran. Oh, is that me? Bobo Oxy. You changed my name. I thought it's your name, Miran. So it's Mehran, Mehran. Says, hi, male 40, Croatia. Oh, Croatia. Says, I am divorced now for 3 years. I have 2 kids with my ex. The family therapist told me that she have borderline disorder, but for more correct diagnosis, she must spend more time with her. She stopped going to therapy. With her. She really think that everything I say is a lie, so she won't talk to me about kids. I prove that I talk the truth, but not with the same words that she is talking. And for her, is that a lie? If I do not repeat with exactly the same word as she is, Mm, I understand. It's like the people who have OCD and they want certain thing in a certain way before their brain can accept it as acceptable. And remember, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychotherapist, I don't have any medical degree or claims. So what I say here is not a diagnosis, it's just my opinion about what I'm hearing here. She is, of course, should continue with her psychologists and psychotherapists. But here I'm responding to your questions. So I don't want any misunderstanding. And you make your own decisions. So you said, um, with her that I'm not, okay, I'm not, I know I can't change her, but I can't stop having contact with her since I have joint custody for. Okay, you have that for children. Okay, that's great. Since I've joined custody for children. Since last 3 years, I am fighting with her that I'm not a liar and proving her wrong. I can't handle that someone with whom I was in love have so bad opinion of me and it hurts me. What can I do? It's a very good question. I suggest you make an appointment with me at mind@sixtruth.com. We need to discuss this. I'll try to help you here a little bit, but I think you need to rebuild your understanding of you and how important other people's opinion is, regardless if she was your ex or some friend out in the street. You already know that she has some mental issues, and yet you consider her judgment about you something that you need to rise to defend. It's like somebody's playing piano in the park and the hobo is passing by who has no knowledge about playing piano, what really piano is, pretty much how it functions. But then he hears the pianist who's playing and he makes a comment, says, "Ah, you play like shit, and that sounds so terrible. It bothers my ear. Stop playing it." Now, the pianist knows that he's playing Chopin or playing Mozart, and he's played it hundreds of times, and it's all over. Orchestras around the world have played it, and the pianist is a good pianist and knows that this is a very brilliant piece. But he rises, try to defend this piece to the man who doesn't know anything about music, notes, or piano. And he tries to say, but look how the first fret and the second and the, I don't know the vocabularies. Opus is this or that. And I'm just making things up. And trying to explain how they are organized so well and they melt into each other, integrate into each other, and how the transformation from F major to F minor, or whatever the hell it is, I'm just making things up, how smooth the transition is. And can't you see the echo at the end of the first fret and how brilliant this is? The hobo says, what the fuck you're talking about? I don't know this sound. It bothers my ear. So, what is the conclusion? You got to continue defending the Mozart and the piece, the music and the playing, or you got to come to a conclusion about this hobo doesn't know shit about music, notes, harmony, or anything. Why would I waste my time try to convince? Why? Because your ego says, unless everybody has understanding and standards as high, as good as you're playing, you're not a good player. That's a problem in you. That you think your expertise in something has to do with affirmation of others, where in fact, regardless of somebody says you did something right or wrong, if you've done it right, then it's right. But you still need affirmation by others. That's a problem you got to seek the answer in you, not trying to fix a person who's got challenges to change her understanding so you can feel comfortable. You should feel comfortable by being okay with the fact that she's got problems. You, out of the love that you have for her or had for her, and how important her affirmation toward you is, you can't expect, you can't accept that she might be sick. You can't accept that she cannot digest the fact that you're not a liar, that you're fine. You cannot accept that someone that you used to love not affirm you. And you cannot accept that the reason she can't affirm you because she's imbalanced. There's something wrong with her. In order to face the fact, you prefer to constantly continue your energy to try to prove to her some cockamamie bullshit that she has made up instead of accepting that she's not balanced. And you just continue your life, do things as best and decent as you've always done, and take care of your responsibility as a good father, and be gentle and kind to her as an ex-husband. And if she needs help, you help her. If she doesn't, leave her alone. Stop seeking her affirmation. That's your shortcoming. You should learn you don't need affirmation from just anybody out there or anybody at all, as long as you have standards of compilation, as you have the standards of activities, if you have the standards of manners, morals, and responsibility towards your daily life and your duties and responsibilities. As long as you do that, it doesn't matter her, her or your mother or your father or your children or whoever is going to approve of you, as long as you know you're doing right by them all, and you're attending to your responsibilities as you should. Your consciousness is your affirmation. All right. You're expecting her to solve your problem of lack of confidence in yourself in regards to your conduct and your judgments. I'm saying you don't need anybody else's affirmation on that. You need to build your own belief in yourself and adhering to your standards. And once you do that, it doesn't matter who thinks what about you or not. You're not a liar, you're not a liar. It doesn't matter who else says or agrees or doesn't. Fact, truth is that. But you want truth and you don't accept everything is right as long as she hasn't accepted them as truth. What if she calls the color yellow red? You can't see yellow anymore because she called it red. I have to convince her that it's not red, it's yellow before I can be comfortable that this is yellow. No, it's yellow. It's her problem, not yours. So stop trying to allow others interpret truth for you. Truth is truth. Whether they agree with it or not, it doesn't change. And you don't have to make them change before you believe the truth that you know it's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Have you seen the truth? I can't get rid of this word. So for that, I gotta have a sip of this. And we go on to all right. Orlando says, I also forgot to mention I have been having recurring episodes of a lot of anger at the fact that she slept with a close friend of mine after I broke up with her. The thought of her doing such an awful thing, which ended up ruining our relationship, obviously. Advice on how to overcome this and move on. Look, let me be a little bit blunt here. I understand what you're saying. It's very painful to know that your ex girlfriend is sleeping with someone else, let alone if it's your best friend or close friend. But let's be realistic here. You don't own her. You broke up with her, and she's a human being. The problem is you think she's an angel. We think most women are angel. Oh, they can't do anything wrong. Why? Because when we are making love to them, it is the height of the ecstasy and an amazing feeling of oneness with the nature. And I don't need anything and I have everything at that moment. And you think that describes her intention or her qualities. No, that's how we feel when we have sex. So she's no angel. She's another human being. You broke up with her. She wants to fuck with somebody else. She's going to go do it. What do you think she's going to do? She's going to go join a convent? Oh, Orlando broke up with me, so I'm going to go to convent. No, she's going to go do exactly what you, in fact, most guys don't do that right away. But girls may do that right away. They go sleep with somebody else. In this day and age, because women don't necessarily have that much respect for their bodies anyhow, they're sleeping everywhere, like we do. But we are accustomed to think that only we do because we're pigs. Well, women are not pigs. Well, they are. Not all, just like not all of us are pigs, but they are pigs too. You break up with them, they go fuck somebody else. And who's more convenient, just like some of us have done, maybe not you, not many of, but many guys have done, slept with their girlfriend's friend because it's there. So, and they know them. So it's very easy picking. They already have a rapport. They've had some, back and forth. And man and woman have interest toward each other, whether they're boyfriend, girlfriend or not, but they're in the same kind of a venue and interactions as a group of friends or whatnot. There's some kind of a, interest may be there. And eventually when the opportunity arises, it's a simple thing to continue it on. So you've done that. So to them is easy. Is your friends that she already knows, well, easy. And the man is never going to say no. The girl calls him up, says, what are you doing? All that. Oh, sure, why not? If a woman wants to come over or wants to do something, sure, hey, I've always wanted to tap her. That's how they think. What, do you think your friends don't want to tap your girlfriend? They're decent. They don't. And they behave gentlemanly and properly and trustworthy. But many of them are not. It runs through their head anyhow. It runs through anybody's head. Just because they're a man and that's a woman. So when you break up with her, what do you think she's going to do? Go join a convent? No. She's going to do what she does. Now, expecting her not to have done that, that's naive and that's stupid. It's not up to you what she wants to do after you break up with her. You still want to sleep with a woman and she still wants to sleep with a man. So she does that. Now, having done it with your best friend, it's not the great taste. Obviously, she's not sophisticated. Obviously, she doesn't have better judgment. Obviously, she lacks good judgment. And these are all the reasons why you should focus on why you don't want to be with her and the reasons that affirms you why you broke up with her. Obviously, there were things of this sort showing itself here and there, maybe not in the same magnitude, but in other angles and tangents. But obviously, it wasn't working together. So you made the right decision, maybe. Obviously, you did. So your job here is not how to handle this, overcome this. No, all of these helps you to understand she's not qualified to be with you, and you did the right thing to break up with her. And now you just go on and take care of what you need to take care of. And your relationship didn't get, ruined because she slept with the guy. She slept with the guy after. Yeah, therefore, yeah, the relationship after breakup, yeah, it's affected, definitely. But that's on her, not on you. Why do you have to get over it? She has to get over it. She's the one who's done something stupid and shitty, low class, not you. You hold your head high and attend to your responsibilities and duties and do your life and build another and find another girlfriend and marry someone else if you have to, if you want to, not have to. Have safe sex if you want to. So there it is. And you're not having children with her, so you're not bound with anything. Go on, move on, and let her do her life. That's up to her. You're not her daddy or her advisor, and don't worry about who sleeps with her. But if your friend didn't come to you say, the woman that you broke up with, I love her and we love each other and so on. Are you okay if we go? You say, okay, yeah, sure, go fuck yourself, and then you move on. You don't want to be friends with him anyhow because it's kind of weird. But if he doesn't done that, then he's an asshole too. So move away from both of them and live your life. You don't have to worry about what she does. Go build your life. All right. Kuro, 26 male, California says, broke I had broke up 8 months ago. Okay, you broke up 8 months ago with my ex who's 20. Okay. In the middle of the relationship, she decided to say yes to moving back home with her mother. It bothered me. She decided to just leave. It bothered you because you think that she's preferring to live with her mother. It's diminishing your value of some kind because you've hung all your values up to someone's kudo and someone's affirmation. A woman that chooses you is why you're important. All bullshit. You're 26-year-old. You still haven't discovered your capabilities, your accomplishments, and therefore you rely on other people's kudos and affirmations. In this case, your girlfriend staying with you, choosing to move in with you as your importance or lack of it. It's bullshit. Don't give the brush of the painting and the picture that you should be drawing into someone else's hand. Regardless of what they do, what they decide for themselves, it's not going to take anything away from you. The hell with them. They don't want to live with you. Fuck it. They can live with their mom. And you don't want that. Why should you be living with someone? Age 20, she doesn't fucking know who she is. She doesn't know if she's coming and going. 20 years old. She doesn't know shit in this world. And you think she's going to be a woman for you? A wife material? Move in with her? She's a child. Not in that sense. There are lots of girls around the world, 18, 19, 20, they're mature and they can take responsibilities. But in this day and age, 20-year-old girl in California, she doesn't know where her head or her ass is. So you locked out. You're 26-year-old. I don't know what education you have, what job you have. You continue building your life, make money, and by the time you are 28, 29, 30, then 31, 32, then you can start looking for some serious relationship. At the moment, just date and learn and see what games they play, and don't fall into the trap of the mental limitations of a 20-year-old. 20-year-old is still trying to figure out, what can I get for my looks and how many attentions I can get? Unless they're really sophisticated, which hardly you can find any of them at this age. So don't put your worth and value on the affirmation or attention or decisions of a 20-year-old. You're 26-year-old, and this is a blessing to you. If that's what she decides, good for her. That's her decision, prerogative. You can't be dominating her decisions. If she doesn't want to live with you, that's fine. Your manhood does not depend on she living with you or not. And if she wants to break up with you, she can. Oh, here it is. 8 months ago. For heaven's sake, you're still on that? Don't waste your time. Move on. 8 months ago. Go build something out of yourself, then you wouldn't be begging for somebody else's attention or affirmation or living with you to feel good about yourself. You should feel good about yourself regardless, not based on which girl stays with you or don't. You should feel good about yourself if you go for 10 years without a girlfriend. Then you're strong. All right. And Kuro says the relationship ended on another note because she was manipulating and lied to my family a few times. Okay, then that means already you know she's good for nothing. So what the fuck is wrong with you? Well, you got to hang up. Move on. You just feel like, oh, I don't have someone to fuck. Well, that's another story. It's got nothing to do with your decisions and evaluating if she's worth it to be with or not. Obviously, you can see she's not the character that meets your standards. So move on. Okay. And okay, lol, says 21 male US. Is it normal to wake up to intrusive thoughts? When you have intrusive thoughts, everything about the goddamn thing is normal. They can show up in the middle of you shitting or you're having a meditation. Who cares? It's intrusive thought. It's intrusive thought. It's saying, is it normal to fart when I wake up? Well, it's fart. It doesn't take your, opinion or appointment to, hey, excuse me, may I show myself? Just does what it does. Intrusive thoughts is the same. It's not in your control. What's not in your control is not you. Intrusive thoughts show up. It's got nothing to do with you. It's irrelevant to you. But you think because it's in the screen of your head and your head is on top of your body, oh, it must mean that it's you. No, it's not. No different than, again, the other end. All right. Adrian is a new member. Thank you, Adrian, for that. And Adrian, where's Adrian? Where's Rocky? Adrian. All right, Adrian, where are you? Let me see who you are. Age, gender, where are you tuning in from? Azalea. Oh, that's a beautiful name, Azalea. It's a flower name, isn't it? Says, I'm almost 37. 2 years ago, came out of a nasty divorce. I thought I couldn't fall in love again. Oh, that's a mistake. But this guy came into my life, manipulated me into thinking he loves me, then left me in a few months. Well, Azalea, you're 37-year-old. I hate to break it to you. Most men will not give up a chance to be with a woman, but a certain percentage of men are simply devious assholes who try to get what they are hoping to get, which is intimacy, through manipulation, lies, tricks. Those are the ones that you should watch out, and you should have a system to figure that out. You're 37 years old, as young as you are, but you're not a spring chicken. You should know more than a 20-year-old. So I don't mean to scold you, but when you are coming out of a nasty breakup, nasty divorce, obviously you feel something did not turn out as you hoped for and you planned for, and somehow you find yourself not in control of having been able to turn that around. So you're hurt, and you have a vacuum for emotion, affirmation, to somebody tell you that you're good, you're lovable, it wasn't your fault, because you feel it's your fault somewhat, if not all, but partly, like you failed in something, and you come down on yourself in that way. So you have an opening for someone to come in and you welcome it, even though you could see it's a manipulation. You're being used, you're being fooled, but it's a pleasant fool. It feels good. And you welcome it, even though you could see it. You're smart enough to see it. I bet you had a whiff that this thing is not real, or the guy is not as good as he seems it to look like that he is, but you allowed it. I may be mistaken because I don't know enough about it. You're more than welcome to make an appointment with me at mind@seekstruth.com and we'll discuss it. But in the meantime, you may have seen it and allowed it because you were in need of that oxygen. You were in need of that affirmation, that exoneration, that feeling of being loved and being good and feeling normal again, and getting that whole thing away from you, replacing it with something that was worthy of you at that moment. So, although the guy was an asshole and is at fault, but you were also at fault to have letting down your guard, your security system. So you were plumped for, you were ready, ripe for a picking, and the asshole took advantage of you. You can't be responsible for other people's actions. They're all kind of devious manipulators, psychotic abusers, thieves, and chances are out there. But you should have also upped your focus on what is happening and not let the vacuum to justify whatever shitty intentions other may have to use you. Again, you're a 37-year-old, you're young, and you're obviously sought after. So you got to have a system to figure things out. So you won't have to regret too many times. Diane Caputo says, hello, Marin. Hello, Diane. Diane, you attended, you've been with my channel a long time ago. Your name is familiar, but you haven't been around for a long time. Am I mistaken or am I right? Um, Azalea says, I'm from Bangladesh, born and bred in UAE. Oh, ahlan wa sahlan. I guess that's my limited Arabic. We were supposed to learn Arabic in school for 3 years. It was the toughest thing. Toughest thing. It's a very complete language with complete grammatical structure, even more complete than French. But it was a hell of a language, very difficult. I have to say, we hated it because we could not learn. We always got bad grades, but we learned a few things, a few words here and there. Anyhow, so welcome, Azalia from Bangladesh, born and bred in UAE. Kuro says, thank you for your advice, Mehran. I will take your advice seriously. I really have been a fool for having such little thoughts. There you go. Azalia says, yes, you're right. I saw the red flags and I wanted to feel validated. Sorry, wrong word. Validated. But okay. Well, it's pretty much end up the same. But he was just using me for sex. Yes, of course. That's exactly what we talked about. Diane says, yes, I've been on FP. Yes, then you are the Diane I know. Says, I now live in Florida, doing very well. Thank good. I'm delighted to hear that. Um, Azalia says, now I'm just hurting with a bruised ego and feel unworthy of love. Really? I mean, you call yourself unworthy of love because some asshole could. So, in other words, if you see, let's say, in a garden, flower garden, let's say you see azalea, and some idiot says, oh, that's not beautiful. Does azalea become unbeautiful just because some asshole said so? Or people look at him and say, this idiot doesn't know how beautiful azalea is, or other flowers, roses and other flowers that are in the garden. So, an opinion of someone doesn't take away your characteristics. It just means that someone is not worthy of the characteristics that you have to offer. This is how you would look at it. And it says, I feel like I've failed, also suffer from depression. Well, that depression, obviously, you talk with your doctor and they figure out if it's a clinical depression or it's just a depression that we all get from one thing to another, depending on what's happening in our lives. And then it says, which I think it's just basically because of all these experiences you've had, but you check it with your doctor and you figure that out. But it says, I don't know how to move on ahead. Well, I have a very simple idea for you how to move on ahead. You know, can anyone of you tell me what Christopher Columbus did right after he took the first step from his ship to the land where later on was called America? What was the first thing that he did after he took his first step? I'll go on with some of the things until you guys answer me. Azalia, you too. Mapko says, hello from Serbia. I am Marco. You helped me a lot. Thanks, but there is more problems which I need to resolve. All right, Mapko, why don't you make an appointment with me for a Skype consultation and we'll hash it out, explore what's concerning you one on Skype. Aman says that girl who rejected me in friend zone always used to say I've no attractive body as her other friends and used to over fancy guy body and once said no one will do sex with me. I am beta male. Well, who gives a shit what she says? I mean, as long as you allow people put ideas in your head and find their words according to what their agenda and what their priority is, which in this case, naturally, obviously, her priority and plan is the fact that she doesn't feel good about herself. she doesn't feel confident. And the way for her to be confident is by putting somebody else's down. And she has chosen you to put you down to feel mighty and pretty and strong about herself, because naturally she cannot feel that way. So these people are sick. The people who actually feel they got to put somebody down so they will feel good about themselves are actually mentally sick. You never want to be with these people. These are negative elements of this energy, this life, and you don't want to be around them. These are vampire energies. These are people who are not confident, but they look like if they are. They pretend as if they are. No matter how they look, pretty or not, they still are not confident, but they need to feel so. And because they don't know how to feel confident by their accomplishments and contribution, positive contribution to the community and the society, so the only way for them is to knock somebody else down. They ask, how can you? They say there are two ways to have the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all other buildings. Well, then you will be left the only tall one because you destroyed all the other. The other one is to keep building your own. The people who don't have the cleverness or ability or ingenuity or smarts, intelligence, creativity to build their own building, to continue establishing themselves, they're the ones who the only thing they find that can help them to make them feel important is to destroy other buildings, to put down other people. This is what she's doing. You're not supposed to fall for that. Are you nuts? When are you going to grow up, Amon? So you need to pay no attention to her, and you will find somebody who's interested in you, because no matter how well defined or good looking people are, if their mentality and consciousness is not bonding and is not compatible, eventually they will lose interest in each other, even though if their interest is started because they both physically looked good. So it's not really the physical look of yours or anybody that is going to help with the longevity of the relationship. It's the actual bonding and the confidence level and the ability to accomplish and attend to your responsibilities and duties and attention and the trust and unselfishness and support towards each other. That is what makes a woman to love you, to like you. Maybe not at the outset, but there are many people who are not exactly as fit or they as fit as they want to be, or they don't look like Sean Connery or Brad Pitt, but women of beautiful physical nature and mental nature fall in love with them because of their mannerism and their abilities and their sense of responsibilities and gentlemanliness and a strong mental abilities to withstand the challenges that life puts us face to face. So don't believe in the shit that these people talk about. These are weak links and these are cheap shits that have come to look like human beings. All right, let's go on to, let's see if anybody has answered me. So we have no answer for the question that I asked. Not even Azalia has answered. The question is, what was the first thing that Christopher Columbus did after the first step, after he places his foot, the first step on the soil of America? What was the first thing he did after that? Beetlejuice, male 19, Norway. Ah, hello, Norway. I remember you. Says, hi, Meran. Just wanted to drop by and say hello. I'm not sure if you remember me. I do, but I am the one that suffered with many OCD subsets, and you've helped me a lot throughout all of it. I'm delighted to hear that, Beetlejuice. I'm proud of you. Uh, And Beetlejuice says, that's so true, Meran. Meran couldn't have said it better. Okay, great. Obama, your mama 18 says he said he discovered a new land. Is that the only one? We've got 12 people here, and only one person responds to my question. I'm not going to say anything until I get those questions. There. Azalia, you should be the first one to answer because it's regarding your question. And your question was, how can I move on? Azalia says, haha, marhaba, Mehran. Arabic is a tough language. Thank you for your acknowledgement. Yeah, it is. It's very tough. So there are 12, 13 people here. I want 13 answers to my question. What was the first thing Christopher Columbus did after he made his first step on the land? He put, after the first step on the land that he called America, what was the next first thing he did? Yes, Beetlejuice, you're answering it right here in the chat. I want 12 answers before I reveal which is the answer to Azalia's question. How can I move on? She said. I don't know how to move on ahead, she said. So I'm going to have a sip of my drink till you guys tell me the answer to my question. What was the first thing Christopher Columbus did after he took the first step onto the new land of America out of his ship? Steve Matheson says, did he murder the natives? Beetlejuice says, I want a specific answer, guys. There's a specific answer to that. What's the first next thing that Christopher Columbus did after he took the first step out of his ship, onto the land of America? That's the first thing he did after he took the first step. Azalia says, I have no idea. Well, that's only 3. I need another bunch before I reveal this secret. All right, I guess might as well. Nobody else has got any ideas. So Zator says, cleared land and made a new home. Here is my best guess. All right. These are all good guesses. But the answer is this. After he took the first step out of his ship to the land, he couldn't stand on one leg. He had to take the next step. So that's how you move on. You just take one step at a time, one after the other, and you continue your life as you plan, as you have to do, what you have to do, responsibilities, duties, plans, things you want to accomplish, everything the same as ever. Nothing can stop you because you cannot stop moving and expect to be going forward. In order to go forward, as you ask, you should be moving. So regardless, just don't stand stationary. Don't sit and sulk. Keep on moving, accomplishing what you have to accomplish and set out your life. There we go. So try it. Take one step ahead and you say, God damn it, I can't stand on one foot. I gotta take the next step. So you gotta take the next step. Always you gotta next, because next one, you're also on one foot. So you gotta take the next step. Motion. Always in motion. Azalea, you could have paid for that. You're lucky you didn't have an appointment with me. Otherwise, that would be your answer. So you just lucked out. Beetlejuice, I would have never guessed that, to be honest. And and I thought it was a literal question about what he physically. No, it is. It is. Is it? He did that physically, for heaven's sake. Well, you guys, you see, the thing is, we miss the obvious. The simplest answer to a dilemma is often right in front of us. Azalea thinks there's a magic. What I have nothing. Simplest thing. How to move on? Well, things that you got to do. You got to sleep. You got to eat. You got to drink. You got to do your work. You got to study. You got to move on. And that will create that what you're looking for. It doesn't have to be for a magical thing to happen. All right, guys, it's been 2 hours and 12 minutes and 47 seconds, and continue on. It's time for me to... Zach Stro says, I know one thing he didn't do. He definitely didn't go to Burger King or sit down and play Call of Duty. That's for sure. Guys, it's time for me to end this and get ready to go for my forest hike, possibly, or maybe gym, one of the two, and continue moving. And other things I got to do. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I wish you all well wherever you are. Take good care of yourself. And I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself. And to the others, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.